You have challenged the narrative of religious persecution in Nigeria, suggesting it is more about elite competition for resources, or you were reported to have denied Christian genocide and persecution in Nigeria. It was reported that while delivering a paper at the 46th Supreme Convention of Knights of Semolumba KSM in Kaduna in November 2025, you reiterated that Christians are not being persecuted in Nigeria, insisting that claims of genocide or targeted attacks lack factual basis and credible data. Many people believe that it was contrary to a view you held under the government of late President Mohamed Buhari. Why did you say what you said? Do you mean that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria? Did you diminish or downplay the killings of Christians in Nigeria? How do you respond to Christians who feel your stance downplays their suffering?
Well, I'm sorry, this can be subject for a long conversation, but I have decided that it's not even a conversation I want to entertain because I don't know whether any of my listeners or you or anybody took the trouble to listen to what I had to say. All that people said, and I spoke for almost an hour. I'm speaking to a group of Catholic knights. Now, that was my focus. The focus of my talk was actually on martyrdom and so on. But for anybody to suggest that I deny the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, that person must be mad and they need their head examined. Okay? We can quarrel about names on nomenclature. But if you go back and read what I said in the Vatican on the 21st of October at the launch of the World Report on the Persecution of Christians around the world, to which I was invited to speak on behalf of Africa. Another bishop was invited to speak on behalf of the Middle East. Another bishop was invited to speak on behalf of Asia. And Nigerian bishops were there. Archbishop Fortunatus was there. My good friend Bishop Ona was there. There were quite a lot of other people. I received an ovation. And it was there that I made the point very eloquently and very clearly that, look, by whatever name, whether we're talking about genocide, whether we're talking about persecution of Christians, whatever may be the motive of these killings, they needed to end. And we shouldn't become hostages to language. But I realized that, this conversation has taken a different turn, and I'm not prepared to continue with it because I know it has become a combustible amalgam of all kinds of interests and so on. But happily, and I will end here, the point to make, why I'm happy with my position is that Pope Leo has said, basically, giving us the pathway, namely to focus on our common humanity. Cardinal Parolin, who spoke at the same platform, came to the same conclusion. So I'm happy if you read the statement issued by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, we're basically on the same page. So, and all we've had to do is to challenge the narrow narratives of those who want to see only a single story. And my argument, and everybody, and the central argument is, and this is so, I've been on this line for more than 20 years, we should stop categorizing the tragedy of Nigeria by denominations. And that has been my argument. It was my argument yesterday, it's my argument today, it will be my argument tomorrow. All of us are created in the image and likeness of God. I'm a student of politics, and I can tell you that on this subject, I don't know who has written more than I have written. This was the subject of my PhD thesis. If people want us to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. But I will not do a conversation of one-liners and people who felt that their comfort zones have been challenged. Whether if you call it genocide, wherever it is happening, everybody is free to name what the headache that is worrying them. Okay, but my argument has been, I live in Sokoto. The person living in Benue, the person living in Plateau, the person living in Yobe, all of us have different experiences and manifestations. But the critical thing is not that how we are dying, but that we are dying. So if you call your situation genocide because they are looking for you because you are a Christian, in my own case, My own genocide is different, but it is that nobody is looking for me in Sokoto simply because I'm a Christian. And my argument has always been consistently that we are having our own problems here. Whether we can magnify and scale them up to be a genocide, I don't know. But I'm saying my point of view, which is the point of view from where I stand, is that I am having a relationship that has a lot of problems. But many of those problems are largely administrative issues, for example, about whether Christians have, what rights do I have as a Christian? And I'm not talking here just of myself. I'm talking about the cost of being a Christian in a place like Sokoto and most parts of predominantly northern Nigeria. Now, there are a lot of structural deformities that need to be rectified, okay? But we are not, I haven't, except the case of Deborah, we haven't had cases of that they went, of course, something after the killing of Deborah, we know the experience we had in Sokoto, but these are isolated issues. And the point I'm making is that I raised that issue which was the substance of my conversation with the Knights in Sokoto, that we are over 100 million Christians in Nigeria, for crying out loud. We literally run the Nigerian economy, if we use the word Christians loosely. Over 90% of the Nigerian economy is in the hands of, use the word Christians. All right, we constitute the most educated segment of this Nigerian society. And my question then as now is, if we held together, we will not be having this problem. We'll not be talking about persecution. And we run the risk of imbibing the culture of victimhood. That is that because what does all this mean? I give you a simple example. Look at what happened in what do you call that, in Auchi, which was that a vehicle was going, whether to Auchi or wherever, people were found in the vehicle to be armed. And people who have been victims of atrocities decided to react. They took the law into their hands. They killed people. And the people were identified to be from Kano. It was an ugly scar on the face of Nigeria, just like millions of other scars. But see what happened. The governor of Edo State decided to get into a jet and fly to Kano. To go and do what? To go and console and condole with the people of Kano. Now, I don't know how much money he gave, but he must have parted with quite a good amount of money to pacify and placate the families. We've been killed across northern Nigeria. How many governors or anybody, for example, has taken the trouble? And this was the point I was confronting the Knights with. I said, we are dying alone. We are burying our dead alone. I've paid money to kidnappers that I don't have. Yet, all of you who are sitting here, how many of you picked up your phone to say, Bishop KUKAH, we heard what is happening, how can we help? And for me, that is perhaps even a persecution with my own people at another level. So my argument has been, let's not outsource our obligation, because Christian solidarity demands that we laugh together, we cry together. And so for me, it's more a question of, let us not make this persecution thing look like an excuse for us, because we are more than that. We are not Christians in Syria. We are not Christians in Sudan. We're not Christian minorities, that are being chased left, right, and center. Okay, my argument is that we literally own and hold this country together. So it's a pity if, due to our own whatever reasons there may be, we are allowing Christian minorities to support. All the people who are making this noise, line them up and ask them whether any of them have ever been to Benue, whether they've been to Plateau, whether they've been to where these dead bodies are, whether they've helped any communities in burial. Ask them. So how does it happen that we're all just excited and we're crying persecution when we lack the blood of solidarity? Because imagine, and I told the Knights, if 50 of you came to Sokoto, or if a governor from the south flew to Sokoto to celebrate mass with us in the cathedral, and the world can see that we are not alone, those doing this to us will have a second thought. So that has been the thrust of my argument. For me, it's not about we are wearing medals of honor. Genocide suddenly has become, what does genocide really mean in the final analysis? So for me, I'm still saying that Christians need to sit up. Christians need to do much more. than we are doing so far in terms of the problem that faces us as a community.